What is up, everybody? What is up? It is Ted here with a little thing called Bodies and Wicks, and wow, I've actually been trying to improve the look of everything, and I don't think I succeeded. Um, I did do kind of like an outline thing, to try to make a little bit more professional. I don't know. I'm just totally amateur going at this thing right now. I'm doing this on my own, trying to do like the whole graphics thing on my own, and whatnot. And uh, it seems like it's doing okay. It's not like it's overpowering anything by any means, but anyways, I don't know. You guys don't really care about that. I think what we really care about is smart money. So what I would like to do is for anybody that enjoys smart money, doesn't know what it is. If you want to know what it is, it's about finding the right entries and exit points be due to large institutions that have taken control of the money supply or that have left us clues behind. There are different ways that you can know where money is going to be going, and so therefore you should give us a like and a subscribe. For the way I can continue bringing this information to you, and that way you can continue to understand what is happening out here in the real world and why things happen the way they happen. So, anyways, what we should do is we should head on over to a browser, primarily Ethereum, as we have been has been the theme of the day, right? As I have been making some decent profits off of it today, and been glad I've been making some decent profits off of it. And I do apologize right now because I seem to have forgotten a drink into my phone. So in case I do want to trade, so if you want to hold on just 1 second, I will be right back. Right, hang on to your shorts. I will be right back. Okay. All right, provisions are set. We are good to go now, my friends. Sorry if I lost any viewers. But I can't please everybody. Especially when you're just like running to go grab some things. Um anyways, what I went on earlier, and what I wanted to tell people is that I saw that, of course, there was equal highs here, and I knew it was going to get above those equal highs. We drew the fib, right? It came down here and nailed the 62, right? Which is where you want to enter in case it does get down to the 70.5. Make another entry, right? So it did hit the 62. So there was an entry there. I did eventually get a scalp up in this direction I was actually driving on my way home from my mom's house. Actually, I went and shot some guns today. It was kind of fun. But yeah, it was right around this time in here. Yeah, this is when I was driving home from my mom's house. Actually, I think it was what I did. Oh yeah, it was this right here. So I actually put a buy-in right here because I didn't draw the fib yet. What I saw was this over here. I saw this order block, right? So what I saw before I drew the fib was this order block coming over, and so whenever it was coming down, I bought, and then it came up, and it came up a little bit, and it was a little bit above my spread, and it wasn't enough for me to want to try to take the profit. So I waited, and I eventually got really deep, really deep in the red for a second. But eventually it did come back up out, and whenever this spike came, was when I took that scalp. It wasn't too much of a scalp. It was let's see here, if we were to do a long here, and let's take this off, and it was right here, and then add a couple bucks, right? So it was probably somewhere around, yeah, it was like 12.34, and then I got out right about 12.42, right? So 12.34, 12.42, and then I was in the red, as you can see, a good amount. So it was about you know, it was a 63%. So not really a 1-to-1. What was the ratio on that? A 0.52 ratio. Hey, but still, you know what? As ICT always likes to say, as long as you end up banking something, that is a lot better than having nothing. So I did end up banking that, but I didn't realize at the time that we were hitting the 62, or else I would have held on for dear life, because um, again, I knew the chart, but I didn't know that at the time. I was out, I was having fun with my family, and I didn't realize that we were coming up on this, or else I would have held on, and I knew we were going to break that. But earlier when I got on and I got interrupted, is it came up to here, right? And it stopped, and it bounced back. And what I was trying to warn people was that it looked like it was going to sell, right? Because it hit a bearish order block, right? So you look over here where that light is, see these, right? So these guys right here, these little spikes down, right? These would be your bearish breakers, bearish order blocks, whatever you want to call them. Going up into those, right? The whole point is that once you go up into those, you would actually need to return lower than so basically, if you would have hit this, the whole point would have been to actually get back down below where it started from. So it would have came below down here. You actually made that trade valid. But what happened is I saw that it came down here, and then it pulled up, and it kept making the little spikes right here. And I was like, okay, I know what's going on now. So when I knew it was going on, sorry, I keep dropping this, was that since it was making those spikes, and it was basically enticing people to try to sell, right? So that's what it was doing. It had this fake resistance line right here, right? And it was enticing people to sell. It was going, oh, sell, sell, and then boom, it would sell a little bit. It would come back, and then it would try to think people it was in the perfect sell position, and then boom, it went right through. And I knew that was going to happen, and that's I was trying to get on to tell people before I had my doorbell ring, and you know, it was some people that I haven't seen in a long time, so you know, as much as I do love trading and I love being and doing this all the time, I still kind of have a social life, guys. So, excuse me. I'm sorry. I'm not here all the time for everybody's, you know, smart money needs. But, you know, at the end of the day, I did end up banking over 200 pips in Ethereum today. All positive. Well, actually, there was some negative, but it wasn't much. And that was at the very beginning, early this morning. It was like right around 4:30. I think I lost like, you know, 50 pips. Other than that, I made 20 back, and so we are all good. And I do apologize for smoking on my own channel, but then again, it's my channel. I can do what I want. Now, saying that, weird story, by the way. I actually was driving them home, and we stopped at Huck's to get a milk, right? And there was a machine there to where you could actually buy Bitcoin at this machine, right? You could buy Bitcoin at this machine. And so it kind of intrigued me. And I wondered what it was. And so I went to go purchase, try to see if I could purchase some and see what it was about. And made it basically what it did is it made sure that you were actually purchasing it to put in your wallet, right? And that it wasn't for like some IRS thing, and that it wasn't from the stimulus. You had all these boxes you had to check. And I'm trying to figure out, sorry, where my head is supposed to go, because it seems like it's not in the right spot on the thing anyway. There's all these boxes you had to check, and basically just trying to make sure that you were trying to send it to your own wallet, right? And so I get to the point, it sends you a text message, right? And after it sends you a text message, then, you know, verifies who you are, and then it asks you to scan your ID, basically, or take a picture of your ID. And then I was looking up at the price, and it was $38,000 to purchase Bitcoin. $38,000. Guys, it was 32.8. We are in the wrong business. We're in the wrong business. Can we set up an Ethereum machine to where people can buy Ethereum for 6 grand? Is that even legal? Like, what in the world? How is that even possible? Is it for people just to say they have Bitcoin? Like, is somebody really in need of Bitcoin that bad? That, yeah, I mean, I guess for transfer value it wouldn't be that bad, but you're like, $38,000. That's insane when it's only 33 or with the 32. What was 30? I think it was 32.3 or something like that at the time. I haven't checked because I haven't checked my coin market app. Let me see what it's at right now. The 32.8. It was just, that's just insane. So, needless to say, I did not buy any Bitcoin. I did not transact with any Bitcoin to see what was going on. But what we should do is we should see what is going on with this Ethereum. Now, with this trade here, right? So from the bottom that we had this morning, right, to the top that we got around 1 o'clock, right? It pulled back around the 62%. What did it do? It went exactly to the symmetrical amount of the trade, right? It got all the way back to the 1, right? Or to 200%, I guess you could say. So this would be the 100%, or actually it's the 0, but if you flip it around, it's 100%, 127%, 150, 167%, and then it got to the 200%. So it got to exactly 200%. And then it started retracing, right? So now it's retracing, and now we're trying to figure out what to do from here. I personally think it is about to go up again, about to explode. I think because we have liquidity points, right? We do have, if I'm not mistaken, this is an equal high with something else. So let me draw this really quick. So it is. You can see there's an equal high right here. If not, there's a close to an equal high right here. So there's 2 equal highs. That is guaranteed for it to just go ahead and go on through. And then we will have to see what happens right here at the bearish order block. To see what is going on. I do want to turn on my retail template really quick. Jesus, MACD is just out of control on crypto. So it did get oversold, of course. You can tell, definitely got way oversold. It was oversold here, definitely got oversold here too. So looks like there's a little bit of bearish divergence here. Not too much, but the thing about bearish divergence is, and this is what a lot of people don't understand, is that when people see bearish divergence, it's like, oh, it's always going to go down from that point. No, what happens is that it allows it room to get, to about equilibrium again, to go up again, right? So now it's similar. What is it at? 59, 58. It's at perfect. It's at perfect amount to where it probably would buy and go through those equal highs, right? And wait and see what's going to happen when it hits the bearish order block. Funny thing is that the bearish order block is exactly at the 127. So again, these things are not coincidences. This is all part of the algorithm. This is what is meant to happen, what is meant to be, right? I would want it to get a little bit lower. I wish I would have, been paying attention a little bit earlier. Instead, I was trying to make a better outline for this, but it didn't turn out so well. It turned out actually really, really ugly, and it didn't fit the screen for some reason. I mean, at least this one fits the screen, right? The other one didn't fit the screen at all. So as we were looking at Ethereum now, I do want to put a buy in, but there's also something that tells me that maybe I shouldn't. And that is these order blocks right through here, right? So you have this last up candle for, sorry, this last up candle right here before the down candles. And then that is actually, the last spike up. So my fear is that it could get up to here and then turn around and go back. So, and then it seems like the momentum is starting to shift a little bit, which is a good thing, right? Now, if we turn it on, instead of the retail, we go to my smart money ones. Take this and we take it off futures and we put it on others. And we take the smart money flow index and we put it on others. It is about ready to cross into the buy zone, so that is a good thing. And this has said buy since about, well, here it says 1:40. Oh my god, it's 2 a.m. I didn't realize it. I thought it was like midnight. So, for those of you who are watching, thank you for watching so late. I'm sure it is you folks over in the UK. Good day, mate. Oh, I got some questions. Sorry. While I agree, I appreciate going over this information, I can't help but be distracted at how it says personal at the top. I am so tired. Personal what? Last bounce of 1200 is wish you're aggressive. Okay. Oh, okay. Oh. It says and no, it looks like it says personal anal. I see what you're saying now. No, it actually it means personal analysis. So if we go to load new chart, it's personal analysis. Right, so that's what it is. So I have my different layouts, right? For different ones. I have one for personal analysis. I had one for crypto, but it ended up being personal analysis instead. I had one to where I was trying a thing to where I did 24-hour fibs. It was a little weird experiment I did. I have one for stocks, and then I just have a couple others for some other different things. One I have called Mac Sauce. It's a really dumb one, but basically it's all these different. I don't even know what to explain. It was when I first started learning, and it had all these different indicators on it, and it really made no sense. So I use this, and instead of doing that, I go to load chart layout and I use personal analysis instead. So that's what it is. Got back in at 11:50. Man, you got back in at a good time. Not now. I know I have a lot of drawings. If you got in 11:50, man, you got in at a good time, because I got in this morning at 1200. Whenever it made this drop here. Right, so if you got in at 11:50, you got in at a good time. Now the question is that are you? I'm guessing most of the people that come on here and watch me could talk about crypto. They are probably buying off exchanges such as Binance or Coinbase or KuCoin or whatever the other ones are. There's a ton of them out there. Bitstamp or Kraken. I'm sure you guys are probably all, buying, from those things. Now, what I typically do is I use MetaTrader 4. Well, yeah. Oh, you're using Robinhood. I've done it. I've done Robinhood too. Um, but I use MetaTrader 4. MetaTrader 4, what it is it trades contracts for difference. Right. So basically, what it does is that it, it's really hard to explain. But basically, you have a lot size, right? So it's almost like futures, but almost like futures with no limitations. So there's no strike price, right? Basically, you have a spread, right? So the spread for Ethereum is $3. So anytime I would try to make a trade with Ethereum, whether it be buying or selling, you can actually sell without owning it, right? So I don't have to have any equity in Ethereum, right? I can just hit sell, and if it drops, I make money. That's how MetaTrader 4 works. Um, and that's primarily what I use. And the reason being is the reason I use it is because if I use a 0.01 lot size, which is actually just 10 cents, right? It's only 10 cents is all it is. And you have an account of $100, anytime that Ethereum makes $1 after it gets past, your spread, you also make $1, right? So, I got in at 1200, and actually I've made over 200 pips today. Pips being, percentage in points, right? So 200 pips would actually equal $20, right? So and that was just on scalping. That was not on holding any kind of positions or anything like that. So holding at 1200, right, and then getting up to 1300, I would have made $100 just on 10 cents. So that's what MetaTrader 4 does. If you guys are interested in something like that, I would suggest looking into it. Again, the app is called MetaTrader 4. It's actually what all the professional traders use. And especially for foreign exchange, there's actually contracts for difference for stocks too. Same thing can happen, there was a time when I knew Apple was gonna fall, and I sold. I didn't own any equity in Apple. I just hit the sell button, and then as soon as I hit the sell button, Apple started falling. It fell $6. I made $6. I got out of the trade. It was simple as that. But the thing is that you can also lose money just as fast, right? So, if you were to put in, a 20-cent trade instead, right? So anytime it goes up, or like let's say you make a buy and it goes up, $2, you make $4. But let's say it goes down $8, well, you're gonna lose $16 on that, right? So there's a lot more risk involved in that. So that's why, to me, timing is particularly important, right? So that's why I have to really get down into the nit grit of things, and really study price action and understand where the market is going, and where I think it's probably gonna head to next. And I do that using smart money theory. I'm not a retail person. I'm not a person that draws trend lines. I'm not a person that uses channels. I'm not a person that uses triangles or all these fancy things. I use price levels, right? Levels, and that's it, right? Because that's what price reacts off of. Price reacts off of levels. It doesn't react off of a trend line, right? It reacts off of a certain price that happened somewhere over here on this side of the chart, right? And it always does, and it always will. And also, it also happens to be, Fibonacci, because price likes to, especially whenever it does a trade like this, right? Bottom to top, pulls back to the 62%. What it wants to do is it's going to try to make the actual full 100% of that trade. So if you were to take this part of the trade, right, and then turn around and then do the exact same thing, it would actually be this part would actually be equal, right? So from here to here, right, would be, oops, didn't mean to do that, would be equal from here to here, right? So that's what price likes to do, right? Price likes to do these things, right? And price likes to balance, right? For one, price will always want to balance, and price will always seek liquidity. So you have to know where liquidity is, right? So the thing now with Ethereum, what I'm trying to figure out is where the liquidity is, because it's already done its full, trade. I'm thinking it's looking to rebalance a little bit, which is why it pulled back, right? So it's looking to rebalance just a little bit, because as you can see, you have a huge big gap like right in here, right? So price could pull back to this area. It could. I'm not saying it's going to. I'm saying it could. There's a possibility that it could pull back into this area because there is a gap in price, right? So what it could do, and now what I want to do is actually look at the 4-hour chart of Ethereum, because that's going to give us a better idea as to what could possibly happen to Ethereum. Now, what you want to look for in smart money, especially with Ethereum, first you want to check, is there any equal highs, right? So you did have that, like I said, you did have that one equal high that was over here. It was a small equal high, but still it was equal high. Here's a high right here. It did just break that high, right? So it did break that liquidity. What do I mean by liquidity? I mean that whenever it gets up into these areas, there are people who have set sell limits, right? They set their sell limits at those areas, and they think that this line right here is going to be a solid resistance, right? They think it's going to be a solid resistance, so they put their stop loss at that resistance, right? So whenever it gets up into that area, they're already in the sell trade, so that's what the short position is for, right? So I don't know why it makes it so big. It makes it kind of ridiculous, but they put themselves in this sell trade, right? To where they think it's going to come up here and sell right here, but they don't think it's going to get past this line right here, right? And so what it does is it moves up past that line, right? And people that use MetaTrader 4, like me, who trade these things, what it'll do is it will take that money that they lost because it went through and hit their stop loss. Once it hits your stop loss, that money is then now basically taken out of your account if you're the loser, right? That money then gets transferred to the broker, right? And then the broker then pays the person on the other side of the trade, whoever was buying, right? And primarily the broker takes most of the fees anyway. So I do want to move into decentralization as his life. Well, hold on. Sorry, Leighton Gamer. I'm reading your stuff. Nice. I gotta learn all the verbiage like that. I've only been investing a month, so staying super basic. But I do want to move into into decentralization as a life thing. What was that term again? I'm not for sure what term you're speaking of. Oh, smart money theory. So, smart money theory is, so you'd have to learn retail theory first before you can learn smart money theory. Retail theory is basically everything that you would be taught as a regular trader, right? So as a regular trader, you're taught, you know, basic trend lines. You're taught, you know, to buy off, you know, to buy off trend lines. You're taught triangles. You're taught, you know, all these different things. I would suggest looking up. I think his name's Raymond Teo. Rainer Teo. Hold on, let me look him up really quick for you. YouTube. What? I just looked up YouTube, dude. Right? Yeah. Rainer Teo. I would suggest looking up this guy, Rainer Teo. He's actually really good at teaching you the basics of retail trading. I probably wouldn't do the stock. I mean, it depends on what kind of things you're looking into. I probably wouldn't do the stock course. I would definitely look into something like, especially if you're gonna do like cryptocurrency. I would look into you know, stuff for like Forex, stuff like candlestick strategies. You know, looking into candlesticks. Price action trading is definitely a must-to thing. VWAP is not so important. That's more for stock market stuff. Yeah, here we go. Some candlestick patterns. This is a good one. Actually, I would definitely recommend this one. The candlestick patterns. Support resistance. Definitely need to know support and resistance. That goes for smart money theory as well. You're definitely going to need to know support and resistance, because support and resistance works for smart money theory, but it works in a way that for a long term, right? So I would suggest Rainer Teo for one. He is a good person to learn from. Once you get, you know, into the basics of of uh, of retail theory, and learning how to trade retail, then you move on to somebody like this. You move on to Inner Circle Trader. This guy is gonna blow your mind. He is the one who has come up with the idea, basically, of smart money. He is quote unquote the godfather of smart money. Knowing that that price is an algorithm, that, you know, what price looks for, and I have been he's actually my mentor, and he it's just incredible what he knows. But there's a lot of lessons in here that are not just, you know, looking at charts. There's some lessons in here that, like, especially like this one, like the illusion of choice. I mean, like philosophical things. You know, taking a deep look at yourself. What kind of trader are you? You know, he doesn't just point and direct you and say, hey, this is where it's gonna go. You know, buy here, sell here. He's going to say, look for this, right? And then tell me what you see, and then go from there. So again, Rainer Teo, I would think would definitely be a great start. Or anybody that has anything to do with price action. Um, uh, Look up stuff by Larry Williams. Larry Williams is also a good instructor. If you can find some old stuff of his. Trying to think who else. Uh, I don't know. There's quite a few people, but yeah, anything that has to do with price action, anything that has to do with candlesticks, like reading candlesticks, things like that, are gonna be your best bet. Because once you understand that, then after that you have to form biases, daily biases, things like that. Um, don't I mean, there's going to be courses on indicators, right? So, up here you have, how you can find indicators. You have your simple ones like your MACD, or you have your, RSI, your relative strength index. These are like your basic indicators for beginners, but a lot of professionals still use them. I use some advanced ones. I use like this one, open interest money flow index or open interest money flow stochastic. I also use commitment to traders, but commitment to traders only applies to Forex. It doesn't apply to cryptocurrency. Um, you could also use Ichimoku Cloud for if you wanted to. That is actually a pretty decent indicator, um, especially for crypto. I think there's one specifically for crypto. I think Moku or something like that. Hold on, let's see if I can find it. Moku crypto. Ichimoku crypto cloud. Actually, I would use this one because it looks like this one has a lot more people using it. 104 people using it. And let me get rid of the first one. I think it was this one. So, and if you can learn how to read an Ichimoku cloud, the better advantage you have. I really don't rely on Ichimoku clouds. Again, to me, indicators are a lot of distraction. There's a lot involved. There's just too much to watch, too much to see, too much to know what's going on. I am a person that, I mean, a lot of people like to use, moving averages, EMAs, like, the 10 EMA, 20 EMA, 50 EMA. There's trading ways that there's certain strategies that you can use just depending upon, the EMAs and how they cross and when they cross and things like that. I sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. What does work and what's always worked for me is liquidity, knowing where liquidity is, and then knowing where, looking at the left side of the chart, and then finding your either bearish or bullish order blocks, and then seeing if there's going to be any kind of I need to get rid of all this because all this stuff already happened. So yeah, I always put too much stuff on here. I'll leave the top on here for sure. Um, leave that there. Okay. So now in the 4 hour, right? The open interest stochastic is showing a sell, right? It's starting to show a sell. Open interest money flow index is starting to show a sell as well. So the way you read this this indicator, this open interest money flow, is that whenever it starts to go down into the red, right, from green to red, that is the sell signal. So as soon as it starts to hit that red, that's the sell signal, right? Stream is breaking up. What percent do you get out of worth ride dips versus amount you leave in? To be honest, again, I'm not a person that, I mean, I do have like a hodl account, um, and I have hodl accounts in 4 different exchanges. You know, I have money in Robinhood, I have money in Kraken, I have money in Binance, and I have money in KuCoin. Um, so I, whenever I feel like there is a bounce or something like that, is when I will throw some money at my you know, one of my hodl accounts. I'm not for sure which one. It just which one ever I feel like I bring up first. So I don't really pay attention to percentages as how much I'm, you know, making or getting back. Again, I pay attention to MetaTrader 4, and I am paying attention to how much money I am making on that. Now, as far as MetaTrader 4 is concerned, at first, I started in May last year. I lost probably a good $600-700 within my first 6-7 months. And that was because I was trading retail theory, and I was subscribing to Telegram channels, to people who were telling me to buy here, sell here, do this, do that, and they were all wrong. Not that they were all wrong, but most of them were wrong, and it was because of retail theory. Retail theory is just trash. Um, Smart money theory is definitely the way to go. There are also people who incorporate Wyckoff. Wyckoff is Wyckoff. Um, he he was the person that first understood that he called it an operator. He was the first person that first understood that markets were being manipulated, right? So and he didn't know why, but whenever he would notice an accumulation phase, there would be something completely off. And during that accumulation phase, whenever he would notice that there was something off, he noticed that there was a pattern to it. And so if you look up Wyckoff theory, you know, it'll show you like all the different patterns and stuff like that. And he actually did a really good job on that. So there are people who mix in smart money theory with Wyckoff, and I think that is actually the best idea, because it incorporates both. Because Wyckoff, I think, was the first person to understand that markets were being manipulated, and then smart money theory came along and actually really drilled down on the details of what smart money actually was, and how to find the best entrances and exits for all of these. So that being said, I'll try to continue here on Ethereum. Again, we're looking at the 4 hour. Okay. Now, what I want to do is get a a broader approach as to what happened. Again, I think we all remember this big drop that was not fun at all. Um, uh, and luckily, I think I had some buy limits set right here. So the good thing about Robinhood, right, Leighton Gamer, is that Robinhood does have buy limits. Something Coinbase does not have. So anybody has Coinbase, I'm sorry. Get off of that as soon as you can. Try to find something that does have buy limits. Um, oh, you're fine. Don't worry about spamming, dude. I enjoy actually somebody that's here talking, so I can kind of explain and help somebody along. But Robinhood does have buy limits. Coinbase doesn't. I think almost every other exchange does have some kind of buy limit. It's just Coinbase that doesn't, which makes no sense because they're like the number one popular one, and it doesn't make any sense. They tell you to dollar cost average, um, which is odd to me because Coinbase is about ready to come out with an IPO, so which means they're about ready to go public, and they're about ready to be publicly traded on the stock exchange, right? And if they're telling you to dollar cost average, they're not they're not really telling you, hey, there's a better way to enter the market, right? There's a there's a way that you can find what I forgot exactly what the words read on Coinbase. I can probably pull it up here in just a second and read it. And when I read it, I laugh because I'm like, guys, like why are you telling people this? Um yeah, when is the best time to buy? Timing any investment is hard, which is why many investors use dollar cost averaging. I'm sorry. No, not many investors use dollar cost averaging. A lot of investors know seasonal tendencies, they know intermarket analysis, um, they know a lot of different things, and they don't dollar cost average. Your typical trader, like your run of the mill person that knows absolutely nothing, may dollar cost average. But if you really want to get good at this game and you really want to make money and you really want to, make a better, percentage gain on your money, you're not going to dollar cost average. You're going to study and you're going to try to learn how these markets work and how to, uh, you know, tackle them basically. And so, and that's what I do. I do 20. This is all I do. I sit here, I stare at charts. People ask me, I mean, I work 6 to 3, which is awesome because while I'm at work, I literally get to watch the New York Open and, take a position in Forex, usually it's the pound versus the dollar or the euro versus the dollar or something like that. I get to take and I can usually form a daily bias and take a position and then, make money while I'm at work, so it's, and this is all through the MetaTrader 4 app. So, um, it's just, I basically have the privilege of just like watching charts all day. And it's become kind of a kind of an obsession of mine, not gonna lie. Again, I've only been trading since May, but I've made some good calls, and I've I feel like I've done well for myself since I've learned smart money theory. To be honest, before smart money theory, I was throwing my money away. I was over trading. I was you know, I didn't know what I was doing. You know, you know, I would get mad that I would lose a trade, and then so I would try to trade again and try to gain it back, and I'd lose more money. And so, you know, and then you know, once you learn smart money, you learn to calm down, you learn to focus, you learn to figure out, you know, if you lose a trade, what did you do wrong? Take a look at it, go back the next day and try again. You know, it's a long process. You know, I'm not as young as what I used to be. Um, I want to retire earlier than what, you know, what most people do. You know, I want to look at retirement in 10 to 15 years. So I'm trying to do this as baby steps, but baby steps, you know, in chunks, you know, and so I'm trying to save, you know. I think dollar cost average, meaning if you're buying more when it's lower, is good for a newbie like me, but I definitely want to move where I just set a buy and sell and then walk away. Yeah, yeah, and it also depends on what kind of trader you are, right? Um, so, you know, there's some people, especially, you know, who have a lot of money, right? Who have a lot of money in an account, right? And they can sit here and look at this and they can say, okay, well, money, you know, it probably should get down to here, right? But it probably shouldn't get below way down here. So I'm going to put in X amount of money here, right? And then I'm going to walk away, you know, for, you know, 2 or 3 days, you know, and then more than likely it'll be up here, you know, and then I've made my money. I'm not that type of person. I have to be on the charts every second of every minute of every day. And I'm a scalper. I'm a day trader. I'm a, you know, I have to make decisions on the whim. I can't just I mean, I've been getting better at actually holding trades and then being confident that they're going to come back and then get to the positive side, because there have been trades where I've been like, especially today with Ethereum. Like I said, today with Ethereum, I made a buy and it went down negative 15, almost $20, and then it came right back up and then made me $5. And then I exited the trade, and then, you know, it went back down, but you know, it eventually did go back up, but still, you know, it was a little thing like that. So my thing is that right now I'm, you know, I'm aiming for, you know, $30 to $50 a day. You know, now that I have understood, like my game has evolved. You know, I'm not losing money anymore. I'm actually on the positive side. 95% of actual traders actually lose money. Um, that's completely different than people that actually put their money in cryptocurrencies. People in cryptocurrencies, I really don't know the numbers for that. Um, but I'm just saying, you know, actual traders, you know, who trade CFDs, you know, in the foreign exchange world, generally lose 95% of the time, and they eventually end up quitting. But I've gotten to the point to where I've actually started pulling a profit, and so because of that, I've been able to pull back money, you know, save a little bit, add it to my account, you know, add a little bit more to my trades here and there, and, you know, and slowly grow it. Like that's what you're supposed to do, is slowly grow your account. So, um, I've just told myself I'm not scared with ETH unless it hits 11 again. It seems like it's going to keep bouncing until it runs. I want to flip out cost eventually and forget it till it makes news again. Yeah, ETH. Let's get back to ETH. How about that? 1 second. ETH is my baby, not Bitcoin, because I feel like ETH has way more potential. The Bitcoin train has come and gone, even though I still think there could be a lot more potential for Bitcoin. Um, I think ETH is the one that we could be looking at, that could still have a lot of potential. So again, it made its low earlier this morning around 7 o'clock. I caught it. It was around, I think I caught it at 12:08 is what the price was. It came up, made this high, retraced back to about the 62, and then boom, spiked up. I mean, just spiked up and went through. Now, since it spiked up and went through, it spiked through this liquidity. Normally, what smart money would do would retrace until it hit a bearish order, or sorry, a bullish order block, which would be this right here. Crypto is a little bit different. Crypto does not act like Forex. So it may seek liquidity first before it tries to seek an order block first. So and what I'm thinking is that Ethereum may actually come up here and break these equal highs. Let me get back down. See, we're looking at the 4-hour. Like I said, what would normally happen, it would probably come back down, hit this guy, and then come back up. These equal highs have been broken. We can probably get rid of that. Looking at the left side of the chart, again, we had that high. It got broken. And so now we had these lows, and then there was really no, okay, so here you have one big bullish order block, right? Considering the wicks are actually still within the bodies, right? So this would be considered one big bullish order block. It's not coming up from up underneath that. It's actually inside of it right now, which is interesting. So, okay, I want to try something really quick. Hang tight with me. We are going to measure the bodies of this right here. And it has come 50% up into the 62%. Okay, so it has come actually up higher. It's generally, if it's less than 50% of an order block, it'll stay below the 50%. If it gets above the 50% of an order block, generally you'll see the price action start moving toward that way. So that being said, it looks like we could actually see Ethereum start moving up. I know somebody earlier asked me how low it could get. It was I don't even know if he's on here anymore. Lewis Farmer. Could it dip down to? Yeah, absolutely, it could dip down. I'm not gonna rule that out. But I'm thinking it's not going to. It made, sorry, I just went to the 5-minute really quick. 5 minutes is where you're gonna find a lot of good information. To some people it looks like noise. To me, I can read 5-minute charts like no other. I can just spot things and understand what's happening, right? So trying to think about something that may scare me, or not may scare me, but may worry me about a pullback. The thing is that we're already making equal highs right here. Almost. Right, so let me get rid of this. If you think about it, these are all equal highs right here. Not all equal highs, but high, high. They're coming up, back up here. Here's a high. All right, so this, what this is doing is it's enticing people to sell, right? Enticing people to sell because it's saying that there's a resistance right here. Just like it was down here. Saying that there was a resistance right here and enticing people to sell. And what did it do? It bought. I think the same thing is happening here. I have a feeling you might see, maybe the price drop a little bit more, but eventually you're gonna see, and it's already happening. It looks like it's buying right now. Yeah, maybe not turn around and went the other way. So, if it were to come down to a specific area before it returned upwards, right? This is all one big body. That's the thing. You have a bullish order block right here. But the thing is that when you have it's not really a bullish order block because it didn't engulf it, right? So generally, if you see something like, a red candle, like here, like if you see a red candle right here, and then this candle right here is so much bigger than it engulfs the candle. So you have an engulfing candle, right? But the problem is that this candle here, right, is basically a part of this candle. They're both the same thing because there's really not much movement in between them. There's no, like this one, this candle here. I don't know if you guys can see what I'm pointing out. I'm gonna try to get this candle right here did not wick up higher than this candle, right? So it didn't cause any kind of disturbance. So these two candles are basically the same thing. But since these two candles are basically the same thing, you would need a bullish candle that would be bigger than both of them for this to be considered a bullish order block. Now, what does that mean? If this was a bullish order block, then price would come down to here and then bounce off of this and then return. Now, the thing is, it's still possible. I'm not going to rule that out just because we didn't have an engulfing candle. And to be honest, it looks like it might be possible because it did kind of retrace, right? Hasn't hit it yet, but it is buying. And again, causing equal highs. I mean, you have equal highs right here already. Move these up a little bit. You basically have equal highs right here, so it's going to want to break those. And you have equal highs over here, so it's going to want to break those because there's liquidity there. Now, the thing is that you have a liquidity run right here. What this is meant to do, right, is that anybody that was going short, like anybody who was trying to short the market up here, which I'm sure there was a ton of people, because it absolutely just went all the way up, right? It just went crazy. Yeah, MACD is tight right now. Yeah, it's because momentum is changing. I would assume the MACD would probably be tight. But what this spike here represents is that whenever people were shorting this, right? And what people like to do is whenever they're shorting it is they like to either use trailing stop losses, which can be programmed into well, for one, it can be programmed into TradingView if you have your broker established into TradingView, but it can also be programmed into MetaTrader 4 to where your stop loss just kind of trails. And so, you know, if it was getting short, right, and then it drops, you know, here, but your stop loss is still kind of left up here, and then it comes back up, boom, it takes you out of the trade, right? So this right here, this spike right here, this was by design, right, to take people out of the trade. Anybody that was going short, to take people out of the trade. So once we get above, see, oh look what I tell you, I wasn't even paying attention. I should have bought. I probably need to pull out my phone and just buy, to be honest. Because this right here is really not going to mean anything, because all it did was try to take people out that went short anyway, right? Actually, whenever it does do this, whenever it does go through liquidity, sometimes what it'll do is it'll pull back, because people that have their stop runs, right, it doesn't want to satisfy those people that have stop runs, so it'll pull back and try to take those people out. Oops, I keep hitting the right click, and then it'll try to move forward. Right now we are hitting the bearish order block, right? So that's the last up candle before the down candle. It moved right through that, and it looks like we're going to be moving on up, just like I called. It's going to want to break this high, is definitely what it's going to want to do. And the reason it's going to want to break this high is because, one, there's also another equal high over there as well. Bounce at 1308. Well, hit the mini ceiling. Okay. Yeah, number of people wouldn't make up, then move like you're saying. The orders you're talking about really do show. Good looking with yesterday's buy. Test sells. There goes again, no matter which direction. Yeah. it's just it's just a lot of time to be honest, sitting in front of charts. Thank you, Rover, for saying that. Um, like I said, I don't know if you watched the video, uh, but I was showing how it was gonna fall through because it was showing the same thing to where it was bouncing, it kept bouncing, it kept bouncing, and I was like, it's gonna fall through that and make a low. And sure enough, it fell right through that, and that's when it hit that 1200. And I was like, boom, there it is. So it looks like it hit the didn't mean to move that. Looks like it hit the symmetrical trade again. Looks like it's pulling back, probably pulling back back through these guys, right? What it'll probably do is hit this red candle. Oops, didn't mean to pull that up. If it does pull back that far, it doesn't have to, but it may pull back to this red candle here and then go back up, but it doesn't look like it's going to. It may. I don't know. It's kind of playing around right now. And it will do this. There's liquidity up here. And that's what it's seeking out. It's seeking out liquidity. So this is what I like to draw out on charts. Is I like to put out where the liquidity is, right? There's definitely liquidity resting above here. And again, one of the main reasons why there's liquidity resting above there is because of this over here as well. So there's almost equals highs here, right? So a lot of people are going to be expecting sell because there's highs right here. It's coming up to, you know, this big apparatus, right? So of course everybody's going to expect it to sell once it gets way up here, but it won't. It'll go through it. But as far as these guys are here, and this is here, it'll probably continue to buy through it. I could be completely wrong though, who knows? This may turn around and go the opposite way. But like I said, if it was to turn around, it'd pull back through here, hit this red candle, and now I would honestly expect it to start buying again. Let's hit A. Auto sells hit. Then it retests the hashtag again. I'm just waiting to see if that's the case. And looks like it is. It'll probably play around a little bit just because that's what it does. I'm not gonna expect it to fly through here any second. You know, because I think what it is trying to do, it is trying to, even though it did break these highs, right? You still have, you know, it did cause a little bit of a spike here, liquidity run. So anybody that was going short here, right? So that was a lot of people probably going short because they saw these equal highs or whatnot. It broke through that and then it spiked through, right? And it spiked through, so it would take those traders out. So those traders that would have a short position, right? They probably had a short position, something like that. And so that big spike went boom, right? And just took them out. So that big spike was by design again. And now basically, you know, we could be possibly waiting all night to see if it's gonna get past 1340 or not. Um, if you were in a trade, I personally just did it. This is not financial advice. I'm not supposed to be giving financial advice. I'm not a broker. I am not a financial advisor. Do not do as I say. Everything I'm saying here is strictly out of opinion, and it looks like I could be wrong. Let's hope my account can handle it. Actually, I don't think it would get lower than that. It's way more balanced than that. It's probably way more balanced than that. I would think the lowest it would get would probably be, honestly, 1321. This right here. Oh, no, there we go. Now we're going back up the other way. Just because there's so many sellers in here that I think this whole apparatus was designed, right? It was designed to make people think that Ethereum was going to sell, right? And so everybody was starting to put in their sells. They're starting to put in their, their take profit targets, right, first one below here, something like that. And then, what would be their stop loss is the question. If you were somebody in here and you were to try to sell, right, not even over here where we were looking at, but when it first started happening, right, let's say if you're somebody that was first started happening and you were going to short this, right, where would you first look to? Right, honestly, where you would first look to would be right here. At least this is where I would first look to. I would first look to the first red candle, right? Because I don't know, that's just kind of what smart money's taught you, right? It would be the last down push before the up push, right? So, and actually it would be this red candle here, but personally I would just be going for this red candle. So to make it even more fair, I would probably be going for, the 150%, something like that. That's where I would be going for as far as a take profit is concerned. as far as you know, stop loss. If I was a trader, where would I want my stop loss to be? Good question. You know, let's look at the left side of the chart here, and let's see if it's going to give us any answers. And it does. Does indeed. Right here. So this would be your bearish breaker. And actually, it looks like it happens to coincide with 127. So this would be my stop loss. So now that if I'm a retail trader and I'm going short and I'm thinking I'm going to go short and it's going to go short, right? And I'm thinking this is my take profit, and I'm thinking that this is my stop loss up here. What is smart money going to do? Going to do the opposite. Instead of selling and going down here where everybody thinks it's going to go, it's going to buy, right? It's going to buy through it. Oops, didn't mean to move that. It's going to buy through it. And I get well, it took the whole thing with me. That didn't work out now, did it? Right, if I was going to buy, which I did. Sure, yeah, right on top of that red candle, right? Stop loss, right? Now you get to look for a balance, even though it came up here really quick and then pulled back down. It still balanced it out. Still balanced going this way. All right, well, it looks like we could be just staring at this for a while. So, in that case, hold on, let me see if there's any questions. Man, it'll bounce in a minute. Yeah, it will. Rover T, you're welcome. Yeah, 1308 earlier felt solid. That's a nice floor. Yeah, it could be tonight's floor. Don't know what you mean by tonight. Not for sure where you live. If you're on the West Coast, it's definitely tonight. But here in I'm Central Time Zone USA, so it's 3 in the morning, so it's morning time. It's definitely Sunday during the day for everybody else, that's for sure. 1 a.m. here. Okay, yeah, so you're on the West Coast, somewhere over there. So that being said, I'm not gonna sit here and stare at Ethereum all night because I think it's probably gonna sit here and do this for a minute. So let's check out some other other cryptos that's going on. Um, you know what? Let's just throw out Bitcoin. I know everybody's probably sick of Bitcoin by now, but I do really want to take a look at Bitcoin and see what's going on with it. Um, just because I do have money in it, and well, I have money in it. I have money everywhere, so I don't I don't make a whole lot of money, but the money I do make, it goes toward investments. It goes toward making me more money. Um, Otherwise, you know, the dollar is going to be worthless soon. So we got to put it in something that's going to be worth something. Um, but as you can see, I do have a fib that's sitting here. Right. So this is the thing that scares me, is that the fib I placed on Bitcoin started at 20,000, started around 20,000, I want to say. Let me see if I can find out where exactly I put it. I probably need to get down in here into the 20,000 and get rid of it, a lot of this, because I was trying to I was actually being a huge bear when it came back up to 20,000. I was like, it's not gonna break 20,000 again. I was like, it'll probably break 20,000. I was like, but then it'll probably retrace again. So I was being a huge bear whenever it came up to 20,000, and then it came up to 20,000 and just shot off like a rocket. So that being said, I think I just deleted the fib. One thing I do want to have is that I'm in the 4 hour. I do want to have the all-time high leading up to this marked out. I think that's going to serve a significant purpose, because Bitcoin has spent so much time underneath 20,000. It shouldn't get below 20,000 ever again, at least in my opinion. It's balanced itself out. It's moved around. It's done everything in its power to, you know, to basically stay you know, below 20,000. It's like when stock first comes out, right? You know, like when you know, when Nike first you know, maybe announced stock or something like that. Nobody knew what Nike was, and nobody knew what Apple was. Nobody knew what Bitcoin was, you know, and it's trading at, you know, 50, 60, you know, 70 cents. Um, you know, and then eventually it explodes, right? And then the price never comes back, right? So that's probably what is going to happen with Bitcoin. At the same time of this explosion of Bitcoin, you got to think that there was also companies announcing that they're replacing, you know, treasuries in Bitcoin, which means instead of, you know, just holding onto their US dollars or reinvesting, you know, in company stock, or, you know, whatever it is that companies do with their treasuries, they're actually, you know, allocating a certain percentage of their treasury, and they were putting it in Bitcoin. So there was about 4 or 5 companies that I want to say did that right around the same time. I forget exactly which ones it was. I want to say Square was one of them, right? Um, I'm not 100%. Hold on. I mean, I would think 25% of top for losses. 1 a.m. here. Bear for the next few hours for weird. ETH and BTC have parted ways in the last half hour. What do you mean by parted ways? Like ETH is growing faster than Bitcoin. Is that what you mean by parted ways? So since 1966, I also need to pay attention to whenever this time. Oh, it's actually been an hour and 30 minutes. I'm actually surprised. Okay, so since somebody's actually in here on the channel and actually having conversation with me, YouTube is actually allowing me to continue on with my uh, uh, my stream. Generally, what happens is that I will do a live stream for about an hour, and then after that, it kicks me off, right? Um, so thank you for staying on, and for the people that have been, asking questions and saying stuff. YouTube has not kicked me off because of that, which is awesome. So, what I would like for you guys to do, if you haven't already, please hit that like button. If you can, subscribe. That way, whenever hit the notification bell. That way, whenever I do go on live again, you'll know that I'm live. Plus, you'll get more information from me. You maybe ask me questions. I do have my contact information in the description. You can contact me on Twitter. I do have a Twitter. I'm also here on TradingView. That's the cool thing about TradingView is it does have a messaging center. So you can message me on TradingView. And actually I've talked to quite a few people on TradingView before too. And then yeah, we can connect that way. So anyways, what I want to get back to was Bitcoin, right? So the thing about Bitcoin here is that we do have, especially after 20,000, right? It came up, it bounced, it bounced, it bounced, and again, everybody thought it was going to go down, and again, a smart money thing would have said, boom, it's going to go through. And it did go through. It went right through, right? So, went right through, right? And let me see here. Let me get rid of some of these other things because I think this was back when I was trying to predict price whenever things were starting to first happen. Right, so I probably need to get rid of some of these things that are on here. Maybe not some of these. I'll take a look at these whenever we get to it. But I do want to take a look at this as a whole. Maybe this gap needs to be here, right? Maybe this gap just needs to exist. Give me 1 second. Let's well, not yet. But maybe I don't know. Maybe this gap just needs to exist because whenever things like this happen, generally they get filled, right? 90% of all gaps get filled, and that's what this is looking like, is it's looking like a gap. Let's check out ETH really quick because it looks like it is taking off like I said it would. And here we go. Let's see if it's actually going to break this high or not. Done. Great. You go resources. No one else really seems to. Not a huge move, but since you just did a deal, FYDH found a little support. Yeah, so what I just did, especially buying that with the ETH, with MetaTrader 4, again, especially with a 10-cent trade, right? Starting at 12.23, which is what it was, and then I just now closed it at, it got up to 12.38, and then it fell back down, and then it went up really quick, and so I closed it at 12.36. So 12.24 to 12.36 is $12. So I just made $12 in, again, a couple hours, in however long it took this to happen. 3:15, or yeah, whenever it came down, 3:15. It's not 3, so 30 minutes. Oh, look, yep. And honestly, I probably should have held it. I definitely should have held it. See, that that is my biggest mistake right now that I've been making, is that I know what's gonna happen. I know it, and I know it's gonna go even higher, but I close it out just in case, because look, it's even going higher than that now. Or it looks like it wants to anyway. So if you're talking about one, okay, so on weird DTs. Okay, so normally Bitcoin leads, ET